Well, that's a lie. What I'd actually like is to write like 12 books this year, and that's just stupid. So, you know. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am Emily, and this is the first thing I'm filming in 2025. I don't know what happened to last year, but we won't talk about that. So, I do not think I did a goals video last year. I did make a list of writing and publishing goals and all that sort of thing, but I looked at them right about November, December, and realized I don't want to talk about that either. Last year just did not go as planned. We're gonna ignore it. Moving on. I am feeling much more optimistic for this year. I also did, instead of like take into account my actual goals list for last year, made a little bullet point list of the things I did get accomplished in 2024. It's not bad. It's not as much as I wanted, but it's not bad. So I'm gonna run through those just to give myself a little bit of a pat on the back. And then we are going to talk about 2025 writing, publishing, Kickstarter, illustration, and other goals. Also, I feel like I haven't been able to find as many AuthorTube 2025 goals videos as in the past years. Those inspire me. I need more of them. So, in 2024, I know I did have a goal to write 300,000 words. I was hoping for like 500,000. I drafted about 100,000 words, and then I outlined about 20,000 words, which feels like a high number for outlining, but then I remember that I like to just, write 1,000 words of an outline on this random thing, and then on this random thing, and then I did re-outline a lot of Thistle's series and stuff like that, so that does feel like a high outlining amount, though. I'm curious to see what'll happen in a year that doesn't kick my ass. So that's how much I drafted. In February, I published The Sea at the End of Everything, which feels somehow like a lot longer time ago. I outlined several bits of new series clearly, and I partially re-outlined Thistle. I got a lot of outlining done on that one. I finished writing The Wind and the Wild, got through all the edits, ran the Kickstarter, starting the fulfillment now. Well, it's in the middle of being printed. I just got the PDF proofs for the special edition. I finished my comic Nightfallen, made a plushie, ran the Kickstarter, and that is fulfilled completely. I created a hardcover special edition for my All the Woods short story collection, and I ran a little backer kit campaign for that. I'm just waiting on printers for that one as well. Every printer on the planet decided to be super slow. I finished the rebrand of all the Undying Starlight novellas, all the new covers, all the interior formatting, and I made little paperback box sets for them as well. I'm going to talk about that a little bit more because I made a decision about Undying Starlight quite literally yesterday. I made a new set of enamel pin designs for a backer kit campaign that I'm going to run in January. We're in January. It launches January 23rd. I'll try to remember to link it, but no promises. Over the last couple of months, in between all the Wind and the Wild things I was doing, I rewrote 16,200 words on Project Assassin, which is a little novella I wrote last year. I finally pulled it back out, decided I wanted to publish it, and I'm rewriting it. It's not very long, so I definitely got more than halfway through. And I came up with somewhere between like 3 and 128,000 new story ideas last year. That is one thing that apparently is never going to slow down. I didn't write any of them, obviously, but so that is what I actually did get done in 2024. I also started teaching myself game development, but that feels like one of those things where I spent a lot of time watching YouTube videos on how to do things, but I didn't actually do anything with it other than open Unity once, so that feels like not a things I did accomplishment. We got a couple categories for 2025. We have, of course, the most important, writing. Then we have publishing and Kickstarters, then we have illustration, we have reading, and an other category. For writing, I broke a couple of these down into a more reasonable goal and then a best goal, which is, what I would actually like. Well, that's a lie. What I'd actually like is to write like 12 books this year, and that's just stupid. So, a goal I want that's still within reason as a best goal. You get the point. I need to clone myself to write all the books I want to write. My goodness. So again, I would like to write 300,000 words between outlining, drafting, and rewriting. Again, best goal, I would like to write 500,000 words next year. And considering what I have planned for next year, 300,000 should be fine, as long as I'm not like emotionally bludgeoned by random things like I was last year. 300,000 words is a reasonable goal. Considering the stuff I want to write, 500,000 is a reasonable goal. I don't think I've ever written 500,000 in a year. Next on the list. Okay, I would like to preface this by saying one of the things I did in last year's goals, which was silly of me, and I should have seen it coming not to do it, was I listed the actual books that I wanted to finish. Not just like the amount, like I want to write 3 books next year and then pick them as I go, but I was like, here is what I want to write, and like 2 of them were Project Frost, which is way on the back burner right now. But in January of 2024, I was like, yes. So I should learn by now, and I only have a little bit, that I should just pick a number of books that I want to write and like a soft goal for what they might actually be. Because, you know, I'll write one of them and then I'll be like, okay, but what if I jumped to the other series and wrote something else? And this is the way that I am. That being said, I am putting down goals for actual books. In my defense, it's because these ones are planned and they need to happen. Okay, they do. Thistle. Also, I might switch up some of the titles of these books so that the first book is not titled such an odd thing that has no context. So I have the names of the books written down, but I'm just gonna keep calling it Project Thistle. I swear, rewrite book 1 of Project Thistle. I will rewrite it, I will edit it, I will probably post it on Royal Road again, but the whole thing this time, and I will book an editing slot for this book. Best goal, have it ready to kickstart in 2026. That first book will be done. Would I be surprised if after I wrote book 1, I started writing some other things and then just like slowly working on book 2? No, I would not be surprised by that at all. That being said, I would also like to rough draft the second book in that series. It's a trilogy. I would like to rough draft the second book in that series. I would like to outline book 3, because book 3 is so up in the air right now because I haven't even written the first 2. I would like to outline book 3. Best goal, rough drafted as well. I have so much to say about this series, and I have said so much about it. If you are joining me now, I realize I sound crazy. That's normal. Subscribe. This is a series, I wrote the first book. I wrote 130,000 words of it, and I realized it was utter and complete garbage. Just trash. It's still better than like a lot of things I've read. However, not even remotely up to par with like my own standards for myself, but just in general, it was not well written. I didn't understand the character's voice. I didn't have a good enough plot. I revamped it completely. There's now some like magical sci-fi elements where before it was just high fantasy. I've upgraded the world. It's kind of a lit RPG book. Well, it was a lit RPG book. It's now kind of progression fantasy. You know, I genuinely don't know if I'm going to keep the numbers part of the magic system that makes it lit RPG. I have no idea. That's a problem for me to figure out when I start writing it. But it has changed drastically in the last year and a half. It was summer of 2023 when I finished writing that. Good lord. Like, this book gave me burnout. This is a rocky relationship, but I'm very, very hyped to start writing it again. I really do love the relationship between the characters. The world is much better now, and I think I have enough of a plot for the way that I like to write, which is, like, I have a roadmap, but not all the details. So as I stand right now, I'm thinking I might write the whole series in a year. And, you know, if they're 100,000 word books each, they might even be less than that. I don't know. That's a reasonable yearly goal, is 300,000 words for me. Sounds like a lot. Like, oh my god, a whole trilogy in a year, but I think I could do that. I know I've written 300,000 words in a year before, more than that. That is what I want to do. If I just write book 1, that's fine. Even better if I write books 1 and 2, but like best if I write books 1 through 3. Okay, there you have the context for that. Next on the list, just start drafting my next standalone fantasy romance book in the Keepers of Fairy series, which is the Wind in the Wild series, but it's a series of standalones. So the next book will follow a different couple within the same world. They might get a cameo, but like they're completely standalone. I have no word count goal for this. I just want to start it, like start chapter 1. I'm not holding myself to that at all because I kind of burnt out on writing fantasy romance for a little while. But you know, in 6 months after I've been writing Thistle for a long time, I might be like, fantasy romance, let's go. Last on the list for writing is just probably write something else because I know how I am. I was talking to one of my friends the other day and I came up with the fact that I have 14 current work in progresses that I could pick from to write. Obviously, most of them are not planned, but like the fact that I could actually come up with 14 different project titles, obscene. And some of them are series. The point is, I'll probably start writing something else. I'll probably come up with like 8 new series ideas this year. And then where will I be? Moving on to publishing and Kickstarters. Okay. The fact that 2024 was not a good year for me writing creatively means that this year, as far as publishing goes, I'm kind of, oh my god. Because I am not like a rapid writer or rapid release publisher, so I need a book written to be able to plan stuff. So this year is a little bit iffy on the publishing plans. Like I mentioned, the enamel pins that I'm designing, that is for a backer kit campaign. They're doing their Pintopia event, which is, you know, enamel pins and you partner up and it's a big promotional thing. That is January 23rd. I didn't write the date. That is launching January 23rd. And I would like to have that fulfilled before the summer. Relaunch all the Undying Starlight novellas and box sets. This has been a plan for a very long time. I couldn't even tell you how long, and it would probably depress me if I knew how long. Undying Starlight is my series of space opera novellas. They're very niche and weird and not marketable. I redid all the covers for them, and I just need to take down all the old crappy versions off of Amazon and relaunch them. And I was planning this in February. Last night, I went, screw it, I'm doing it now. Like today, I'm gonna start taking down the old versions. I wanna start being able to advertise it, and I won't advertise it until I have the new good covers, because what's the point? That is now. That's gonna happen immediately. I don't know what I'm gonna do with this series, but I'm gonna start doing something. I have a best goal for that one too, and that is to get a BookBub ad. It's pretty difficult to get a BookBub ad, I think, on a Kindle Unlimited series, but I do have box sets for them that I'm going to release shortly after I relaunch the novellas themselves, and having little collections and like ebook collections that are a better bargain can get you a BookBub deal easier. It's still really difficult to get and they're expensive, but I'm gonna try for that. I think you can try like once a month. I'd like to finish completely the fulfillment on The Wind in the Wild. That's kind of up in the air and a little bit out of my hands this time because I have a fulfillment partner and they work with a overseas printer, and the overseas printer is slow, and then there's shipping from China to the US fulfillment company's warehouse. So I have absolutely no idea when this is going to happen. But after that happens, I will be publishing The Wind in the Wild, hopefully April or May. A best goal is to get a bestseller tag on Amazon in any of the categories. That would be nice. I'm not holding my breath because I have no control over that, but that would be cool. And the last on the list here is to run a Kickstarter for the Assassin novella. I have an editing slot booked in May, but I booked that when I didn't know what I was writing. Then I can reevaluate and maybe I'll ask her if she has an earlier slot, although I don't think she does. I'll evaluate when the time to do this would be after the pin campaign and after I've actually finished rewriting the novella. But that's gonna happen this year. It might happen in the fall. I have no idea. Moving on to illustration, I'd like to finish all the enamel pin designs. They're like 99% finished. I don't actually have most of my illustration goals planned out. I've gotten all necessary book covers, interior illustrations, etc. to do. I'll figure those out as I go along. I also have a little secret art project that I'm working on because I'm not really sure if it's gonna come to anything. If it does, you'll hear about it. If it doesn't, that's fine. Reading. Try to read a good book, any book, that would be great. I feel like that's been on my to-do list every year, is just that sarcastic comment. But I'm also trying to read a book a month, and I'm using one of my little reading journals from one of my old campaigns. And I actually did read a novella on the 1st of January. I read Thorn Hedge by T. Kingfisher, who is one of my favorite authors, and it was good. So, goal achieved. I read a good book. In the other category, I have a couple things I'm not going to share because they're personal, but I'm going to get back to bullet journaling / planning every day. I've got a little planner, and I've been, actually writing out to-do lists every day. I'm gonna get back to doing that regularly. I have bought a 5-year journal, where you write a couple lines every day. And I've always wanted to get into journaling, but I'm really bad at it. And this seems like the best opportunity because there's really very little pressure to write anything. So I want to do that every day. Get back to social media regularly. Oh my God. Social media is a struggle. I don't even know what's happening with TikTok. By the end of the month, I guess we'll know if that app is going away. Who knows? If it isn't, I'd like to hit like 7,600 followers. My follower count does not move on TikTok, so I'm like rounding up to the nearest 100 where I'm at. I would like to get there. I still get views, but I don't get followers. I'd like to hit 15,000 followers on Instagram. I don't know what I'm at right now, but it's close. Every year I make this goal. Learn to make Facebook ads and Amazon ads profitable. Actually, one of the reasons I got all inspired to do Undying Starlight, and I'm like, damn it, I'm gonna do it, is I was reading marketing posts on Facebook, the 20 books to 50K group. I was reading marketing posts. I was reading marketing posts and was reading about somebody who successfully is doing Facebook ads on a series of novellas and is doing it very successfully. And I'm like, Amazon ads, I have never made them profitable. I've tried ads with like $5 a day. Amazon ads, they were never profitable. Facebook ads were somewhat profitable. So I might put a lot of focus into Facebook ads for now, but we'll see. And then I have 2 health-related goals and 1 private monetary goal, which is actually the same as it was last year, because last year sucked. Those are my 2025 writing, publishing, Kickstarter, illustration, reading, and other goals, and what I actually did get accomplished last year, which is not terrible, but not great. I realized that you can't share an entire list of goals in the comment section, but if you want to tell me like some of the ones you're most excited about, I would like to hear about your writing, reading, illustration goals if you have any. So thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, giving it a thumbs up and a subscribe really helps out my channel. All my links will be in the description. I hope we have a fabulous 2025, and I will see y'all in the next video. Bye!